Well, this has been one heck of an adventure. We've tossed a couple of gorgeous snakes, rescued the most beautiful, gnarly old crocodile, and we taught those pesky poachers a fair dinkum Steve-O lesson. What more could a bloke ask for? Crikey!
Hey, Master Reviews here for another review. When you think of Aussie icons, one of the most famous you would think of is Steve Irwin. Nicknamed the Crocodile Hunter, Steve dedicated his time to show the world's wildlife to a grander scale and get people more invested in protecting all the unique species. On his hit show, which was also known as the Crocodile Hunter, he and his wife Terry would travel the world and further demonstrate their points on wildlife conservation. And of course, even did more work on it while at their zoo, Australia Zoo, which has become such a great Australian tourist destination. From '96 onwards, Steve was everywhere. He made other TV shows, he did commercials, he was on talk shows, he appeared in some feature films. You couldn't go anywhere in the world without hearing who Steve Irwin was. And furthermore, of all his family members, not only just Terry, but his two children, Bindi Sue and Robert Clarence Irwin. There were a few issues that came up, like some controversies, like the Baby Bob incident and an incident in Antarctica where they thought Steve was disturbing all the wildlife there. But regardless of those two, regardless of what happened and what people thought, everyone still loved him. Many people did, and they couldn't get enough of him. He was pretty much a person who could do no wrong. He was just perfect. Everyone loved him. Unfortunately, in 2006, while filming a documentary called Ocean's Deadliest and also gathering some footage for his daughter's show at that point, Bindi the Jungle Girl, Steve was attacked by a stingray while filming it for, well, as I said, for not only just Ocean's Deadliest but also for Bindi the Jungle Girl. He initially suspected a punctured lung, but actually pierced his heart. And just when he arrived back on his his cameraman and many other people arrived back on his vessel, Croc 1, it was already too late, and he passed away on September the 4th, 2006. I think it was September the 4th. This caused massive shock around the world. No one could believe it, and it was on the news pretty much for pretty much the whole month. He was buried in a private funeral service, and eventually there was this huge memorial service which was broadcast all over the world. I remember recording it when I was young because I just had to see it. I was 6 years old, and even then I was really enjoying it. I really liked Steve. It was a huge service, and with many family members, including Bindi, talking about him. You had celebrities appearing via video chat like Russell Crowe and Hugh Jackman for some, then Prime Minister of Australia John Howard, even Anthony Field from the Wiggles hosted the ceremony at parts. Since then, the Irwin family have continued on with Steve's legacy. Both Robert and Bindi have done their own shows, and just recently, along with Terry and the whole Australia Zoo staff, have created a new show called Crikey, It's the Irwins, and I absolutely loved it. So Steve Irwin's legacy is still continuing on, which is good. But this is not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Steve's only feature film based on his show, the Crocodile Hunter Collision Course. So, in this film, Steve and Terry, along with Steve's dog Suey, are attempting to save a crocodile that is being tracked down by poachers. Only these aren't poachers, these are members from the United States who are trying to retrieve a beacon that fell from a satellite from outer space and make sure it won't get captured by, well, I don't know, but anyway. So it's all pretty much a misunderstanding, as Steve wants to save this crocodile from who he feels are... Well, yeah. So this is a really interesting film. I really enjoyed watching. I really am split on this movie. This is really kind of hard to talk about. Let's start with the part I really like. When watching Steve, you just feel so much pleasure watching him. He's just so good, and even when he can never do really any wrong when he's on screen. He's just such a joy to watch, and whenever he talks about wildlife in this, it's just so good. I can't get enough of Steve when watching him in this. Terry's also good in this. So is of course his wife, and so is of course his dog Suey. Now, well, Robert wasn't born at this point. Bindi was, and this is a bit of a criticism I do have. I don't get why Bindi wasn't shown really in the movie. I mean, she was a baby at this point, and she does appear in the credits. In fact, I can probably rewind back to a point that I did actually see it. I think it was about... I think it was... I remember seeing it. Hang on. Let me see it. Yeah, there she is. There's Bindi. With Steve holding her in her arms. But, yeah, I don't get why they didn't put her more in the movie. I mean, Suey appeared in pretty much all the scenes, so I don't get why Bindi couldn't. Even I wouldn't mind if she just made a few appearances, like maybe at the end of the movie, or maybe at the start when they're just doing the documentary before they go in the search of the crocodile. So yeah, but regardless, every scene that you see of Steve is perfect, and the climax can be very intriguing, as you really don't know. Well, okay, you know Steve's going to win, but well, it's still pretty fun. Like I say, the rendition of Crocodile Rocky is actually really good too. Now, the other action, which is pretty much the spies trying to get back the part of the satellite. It's to me, this film seems to be on the similar style as Cars 2, where they throw in a spy aspect to the film, which kind of feels strange. I personally think it would have been better if they had have just kept show poachers, but not really throw a complicated setup like this with them trying to get this sphere back. I mean, I feel like this is more an idea from MGM, but well, Steve didn't mind. He enjoyed doing it. But yeah, I kind of feel like this sort of goes into the Cars 2 route, where they add this part that really doesn't belong in this. To me, what they could have done is something like March of the Penguins, which came out a few years after this. I'm not sure if I would have really I'm not sure whether they could. I don't think they should have had Morgan Freeman narrate it. I mean, I love Morgan Freeman, but I don't think it would have worked in this. Honestly, I think they would have preferred someone else. I mean, honestly, if they could have maybe got Russell Crowe in this, honestly, to be the narrator if that happened. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, so I really can't but really, or if they were to show poachers, they could have maybe done something like Bambi, where they're pretty much off scene, but you just understand the threat of them from what the others are getting across. That's what I think could have worked. So, and also, all the Americans are played by, well, of course, other Australian actors. I mean, this was probably for the best. I mean, it's good to see Australian actors get across to a wider world. But alright, I can't really complain. But it does seem a bit weird for maybe those across the world. But, you know, in the end, it's kind of hard not to really enjoy this. I mean, yes, despite everything with everything to do with the poachers and getting back that satellite, the whole spy aspect, yes, it really doesn't belong in it. But in the end, you're still watching Steve Irwin. And as I said, he was still such a joy to watch. So it's kind of hard not to like it. I mean, Roger Ebert, one of America's and pretty much the world's greatest film critic, just gave it 3 out of 4 stars, even though pretty much it may have not been the best, probably due to, as I said, the spy aspect, but he still really enjoyed it. To me, honestly, it's kind of, I'm sort of on the same boat. I mean, I have problems, but I can't really hate it. I really enjoy it, and I'm sure for everyone who loves Steve Irwin and the whole Irwin family, they'll love it too. I mean, there will be probably those who just want to fast forward and just watch everything that involves Steve, and maybe the ending, but really, you can't really hate it. I mean, this isn't really my favorite thing that Steve Irwin did. I'm not sure I watched some of his shows, and even one of his film cameos that they did, which I will review later on, but not now. But in the end, I still really like it. It's not one of my favorites, but everything with Steve is just pure gold. I always will hold him with such great regards. Well, so what am I going to give this? I'm going to give this about, let's go 7.5 out of 10 hash stars. Actually, no, I'll go 8. I'm really going to go high. I really have to. So, what's next for me? Well, honestly, I'm back to doing live reactions. Yep, a Nintendo Direct has been confirmed for tomorrow, so I'm going to be doing my reactions for that. But after that, I'm going to try doing something else. I'm actually going to see if I can maybe try and get a re-review done. And, okay, I might as well review it. I'm going to try and re-review Joseph King of Dreams, which was one of my most successful videos before it got taken down. But in the end, well, I better it's time for Hazard from Hazard Reviews to head out. Well, I might as well let Steve finish off the video for me. Let's get, yeah, as I said, it's time for, let Steve finish it off. Finish it off, Steve. Hazard from Hazard Reviews out.
You know, those army blokes were pretty upset about their metal ball. They reckoned it was more valuable. Of all the gear those blokes get to play with, and again, you'd think the last thing they need.
Cut. Okay. Action.
You know, those army blokes seem pretty upset about their metal ball. They reckon it was real valuable. All the gear those blokes get to play with, you'd think a kid's top would be the last thing they'd need. And that grumpy rancher has joined the Fauna and Fisheries Department as a volunteer. But she's still having a little bit of trouble dealing with Crocodile. And check this out. The US government gave us those 2 pesky poachers to work at Australian Zoo for nothing. And I reckon, after I give them a full Steve-O education, we'll be able to return them back to the wild where they belong. And that Crocodile's happy, real happy. He's now got himself a couple of gorgeous looking shearers. Well, we're back to our adventure. See ya.
And cut.
Yes, I think I got it. I got it.